So get yourself in a comfortable seated position. Come in to the Jin Shin Jitsu Hug. If you're comfortable, let your eyes just flicker shut. Let your breath be natural. You may see that it slows down somewhat during the pose. Scan your body. See if you're holding any tension anywhere. If you are, maybe a slight movement or an adjustment or a prop will take care of that. Or maybe just bringing your attention to the place. The Jin Shin Jitsu points we're holding here are right on the back edge of the underarm. And every set of Jin Shin Jitsu points has a mantra and a meaning. And as we go along, I'll just tell you what those are. And I'll also tell you a little bit about what physical applications they have and what mental and emotional applications they have. So this is Safety Energy Lock Cell 26. And its meaning is completion. That which was, is, and will be. Its mantra is, I know complete peace. So notice your breath. And then if it feels comfortable for you to do this, on the next exhalation, start a count. Exhale, 1. Inhale, 1. Exhale, 2. And do this all the way up to 9. Not forcing it, not intentionally extending it, just counting it. Exhaling at the beginning of the breath, inhaling at the end. And after you've counted to 9, just let that go. And when you let it go, notice if anything about your breathing has changed. Has it maybe slowed down a little, gotten a little deeper? Maybe there are no changes. Part of all forms of yoga is noticing what's happening to your body, your brain, your emotions, observing. And if you'd like to do the experiment one more time, do another 9 breaths, starting with the exhale. And notice where the breath is going. When I do this, my exhale, it's just like the breath is drifting down me. It's like almost it's going down in an elevator. It's a deep letting go. And when I inhale, if I'm paying attention, I can inhale through my nostrils and I can actually feel the coolness of the breath coming in through my nostrils. And then it gets on that elevator and it just sinks to the bottom floor. Maybe entirely different for you. That's the image I have of what my breath is doing. We have 30 more seconds here. You can let go of the breath. You can keep counting the breath. You can do whatever you want. And notice. Notice if you feel perhaps a little calmer, a little quieter, maybe a little more grounded. Let your eyelids flicker open if they've been closed. And we're going to go into our first pose, which is the Supervisor Flows. And these are the 2 rivers that go down both sides of the body. And this is a 2-part pose. So we're going to do a couple of yin poses with them. And again, you can do them on your back or sitting up in a forward bend. Or not a bend, just sitting up. This is a little high for me to sit up on for forward bend, so I'm going to switch my prop. And what we're going to do is your hands, your right hand is going to be over your left shoulder, and your left hand is going to be under your left buttock. And then we're going to switch sides. For the first side, you're going to be in a half butterfly, which is one leg extended and the other leg, the foot of the leg, on somewhere along the extended leg, just like this. If you want, you can choose to do a forward bend here and maybe find a prop to prop your elbow on here. So you might want to do a forward bend like this. You don't need to do the forward bend at all. If you want to do it lying down, you just lie on your back, put your legs in the same position on the floor, maybe put a prop under your head if that's comfortable, and your hands in the same position. So I'm going to start with my right leg extended, my left leg bent. I'm going to start with this prop right here so I have something to support my self on. I'm going to put my right hand over my left shoulder, my left hand under my left buttock, and I'm actually going to move into a forward bend. And when I get to the edge of where my hips are happy, I'm just going to round my back and drop my head and breathe. The flow going down our left side, which is what we're doing right now, stands for the masculine. Active, exhaling, The flow going down the right side stands for the feminine, receptive. And the supervisor flows make sure that both sides of the body are equally supplied with life energy. The mantra for the supervisor flows is this world and beyond are the same universe. We incorporate the energy of all the universe. None of these poses are ever carved in stone. So if you feel any tension, any discomfort at any moment, you can back out. If you feel like you want a little more challenge, you can go a little deeper into the pose. If you're done with the pose before I say we're done, you can be done. So we're gonna, if you're in a forward bend, we're gonna back out of that and just switch sides. So my left leg is extended now. My right knee is out to the side. Now I have a little bit of a groin issue on that side, so I'm gonna prop that knee. I'm gonna place my support prop here. I'm gonna take my left hand, place it over my shoulder, my right hand under my right buttock, and then I'm gonna move into the forward bend. When I get to my edge here, I'm just gonna round my back a little and let my head drop. So the possible applications for these supervisor flows are they harmonize thoughts, give discrimination and develop wisdom. They help the entire back. They're good for scoliosis, any herniated discs, any back problems. And they help with digestion and respiration. We have 1 more minute in this pose. Move back up out of the pose. And the second half of this pose, we're going to do in a butterfly. So if you're on your back, or if you're sitting up, the soles of your feet are going to be together. Your knees are going to be out to the side. And I like to prop my knees when I'm in full butterfly. So I'm going to take this prop and prop that knee. And I had another pillow that looked just like, oh, I'm sitting on it. I'm going to take this and put it here. Here's another pillow. I'm going to take this pillow and put it here. And then I'm going to take my right hand and bring it over my right shoulder and my left shoulder and my left hand and put it in my left groin. Inhaling my spine straight, and then I'm going to move forward so I can come into a forward bend here. I'm going to do it really gently and carefully. You do not have to do this at all. And when I get to the edge of this, I'm just going to drop my head, round my back, and remember to breathe. And you might want to do a little body scan here and see if there's any discomfort anywhere. And if there is, what can you do about that? Can you come out and go back in again? Can you find a prop that would make it more comfortable? Can you wiggle around a little? Or can you maybe just bring your attention to that place? And maybe if your mind is there, there's a saying in yoga, where the mind goes, the energy flows. It'll bring more energy there. If your mind starts to wander, bring your attention back to your breath. Sometimes if I count my breaths, it keeps my mind from wandering. We have about 30 seconds more here. You, of course, can come out anytime you want. You don't have to wait for me to tell you 30 seconds are up. And now I'm going to tell you 30 seconds are up. So you're just going to back out of this and switch sides. Bring your left hand over your right shoulder, your right hand into your right groin. Adjust any props you want to adjust and move back into whatever form of this pose is comfortable, a happy place for you to be for the next 2.5 minutes. Do a little body scan. I always try and remember to do that when I first move into the pose to make sure that I haven't gone in too fast and gotten myself into a position that's not really comfortable, completely comfortable. So we have 1 more minute. If you want to try a little experiment, you can count and see how many breaths you're breathing a minute now. That's a minute. Typically, people do anywhere from 6 to maybe 10 breaths a minute. Chris does fewer sometimes. Move yourself out of this and get in a position where you can see me. And I'm first going to show you the Jin Shin Jitsu Hold we're going to be doing. And then I'm going to give you a whole bunch of options. So the first option I'm going to show you, which, the Jin Shin Jitsu Hold is really easy. The point is right here in the little fleshy part between your thumb and your forefinger. So you can just hold your hands like this. And that's getting both points. So there's a ton of yin poses you can do to accompany this. If you want to be on your back, I'm going to try and get some spine extension, both on the back and sitting forward. So forward, I do Sphinx usually with this, and I'll demonstrate that in a minute. But on the back, you can prop underneath your shoulder blades with a block or a cushion, whatever's comfortable, so that your waist is off the ground, but your shoulder blades are supported. Now, that's not a good prop. So I'm going to come here and take this block right under my shoulder blades, and then I'm going to take a pillow to support my head. So see, I'm getting a really nice extension in my back here. Or you could just do the pillow under your back. You can have your hands resting on your belly. If you want a shoulder extension, you can bring them over your head and to the floor or to another prop. If that's too much of a shoulder extension, you can bend your knees. That makes your back feel really different. You can experiment with all of those. If you're on your chest, on your belly, I like to do this in Sphinx. And in Sphinx, you can also use props. So I love this feeling on my back. Colleen was saying the other day she doesn't like it because Sphinx is not her favorite pose. It probably is my favorite pose. So in Sphinx, you're propping yourself up on your forearms. And to do the Jin Shin Jitsu pose, you would just hold your fingers like this. If this is uncomfortable on your lower back, take a pillow and put it under your hip points and have less of an arch in your lower back. And then start the breath. And we're going to hold this for 5 minutes, and I'm going to tell you halfway through so you can just switch the hold of your fingers. So if you've gone this way the first time, go this way the second time. I'm going to start the count now. Get yourself comfortable. Take your time getting yourself comfortable. Don't rush into the pose and then say, this is pretty good and I don't want to bother getting out of it. Really take your time getting into it.
Alison, where are our fingers supposed to be?
They're just that fleshy part between your forefinger and your thumb is touching each other. And then you just drop your fingers. So you're holding your own hand.
Okay.
It's very friendly.
Thank you.
Oh, look, come, up, low, up, come. Yeah. Go, 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 go.
Hey, could whoever that is please mute themselves?
Up, low, up. Hello. Go.
Neela, can you mute yourself? There. Thank you. I knew it was Neela because her dog's name is Lulu. We're halfway through. So if you want to just go ahead and switch the hands. So like I said, all these safety energy locks have a meaning and a mantra. And the meaning for this one is body consciousness. And the mantra is light flows through me. This cell 18, harmonizes mental activity. So this is a really good cell to jumper cable when you need to relax. Physically, it's good for headaches and insomnia, pain in the hands. It supports respiration. It's good for asthma. And it helps autistic children to hold here. Mentally and emotionally, it harmonizes thought, develops consciousness, and it's good for worry, sadness, sorrow. You have 30 more seconds here. Move on out of this. If you need to do anything to loosen your shoulders or your back, you can roll or arch or flatten out or twist a little. Whatever feels good. Just letting go of that pose. And then when you're ready, I'm going to show you the next Jin Shin Jitsu points. And we're going to do this on two sides with two different points. So the first points we're going to do are right at the back of your neck, right here underneath the occipital bone. And again, don't worry about being right on them. You know, you can have your hands around the back of your head. You know, you just need to be near them, and your arms and your hands need to be comfortable too. The second points we're going to do are right here, right above your eyebrows. And again, I'm touching here with my fingers, but I could be going like this. I could, just as long as I'm somewhere around those points, I could be holding my head like this, whatever's comfortable. And the pose we're going to do is, and again, anytime this pose doesn't suit you, you are welcome to do anything you want, including just lying on your back and only doing the Jin Shin Jitsu points. But this pose is called Deer. And I'm going to sit with my legs straight out. And then I'm going to take my right leg and bend my knee so that my foot is kind of facing backwards here. And if I need to support my butt, or if I want to bring my knee up on a pillow, whatever feels good. I'm going to take my left leg and I'm going to bend it so the sole of my left foot is somewhere near my right thigh here. And I'm in this kind of, I've never seen a deer in this position, but I'm in this kind of triangle with both legs positioned. And then I'm going to place a prop or a bunch of props on the outside of my left thigh. And this is kind of a twist. And I may want to come up real high with my props. You know, whatever's good for you. I may want to prop under my right buttock, but I'm going to twist around. My buttock's going to come up off the ground, and I'm just going to drape myself over these props. And I'm going to bring my hands around the back of my head so that the palms, the fingers of both hands are just resting on that occipital bone. Both sides. Both hands are back there. Anybody has any questions? Unmute yourself and ask me. I'm happy to respond. And take your time getting into this. It took me a long time to figure out what props are the best for me in this pose. And I come up real high here. And yeah?
Show me again, please. Show me again, please.
Okay, so both legs are extended. You take the right leg and bend it so that it's making a triangle with the foot facing back towards my butt. Then I take the left leg and I bend it at the knee and bring the sole of my left foot towards the side of my left thigh. So I'm making two triangles here. Can you see me? And then I just put a bunch of props outside my left thigh, and I turn myself, picking up my right buttock, and just drape myself over these props. I can prop my head, it can be under my torso, it can be anywhere I want. And then I'm just going to pick up my hands and bring them around to the back of my neck. Prop yourself anywhere you want. Take your time, figure it out for yourself. So this place, the back of your neck, is Safety Energy Lock 4. The meaning is the window that lets the light in. The mantra is visions come true. Cell number 4 opens the energy flow, both in and out of the head. It harmonizes thought and vision, as well as everything else that goes on in the head. It balances the energy of the right and left sides of the body, and it connects the two sides of the brain for better learning. Holding cell number 4 allows us to relax and dream. You're a little more than halfway through this. So if you aren't entirely comfortable, see if you can do something to make yourself comfortable. Maybe come out of it. Maybe go back into it again, or maybe don't even bother going back into it. Maybe just hold the cells. Physically, holding cell number 4 is good for anything going on in the head and neck. Headache, tension in the neck, dizziness, sleeplessness, eye and ear problems, nosebleeds, dyslexia, anything involving the brain or the structure of the head and neck. Mentally and emotionally, it calms thoughts, promotes logic and common sense. It brings peace and clarity, and it promotes spiritual awareness. We have a little less than 1 more minute here. So start to move yourself out of this pose. Maybe wriggle or roll on your back or do a twist the other way. Do anything you need to loosen up a little. Maybe windshield wiper your legs or arch your back. Just loosen up here. Get rid of any tension anywhere in your body. Just let it go. And guess what? We're going to do the other side now. So start with extending your leg straight out, and then take your left leg and bend the knee. Kind of roll over on your right hip and bend the knee so that the sole of the left foot is pointing back towards your left shoulder or out, whatever's comfortable. You can prop your left hip, whatever. Then take your right foot, your right knee, bend it, bring that foot towards the left thigh. Take your props all over to the right side. And again, you may need different props, want different props, whatever. And then you're just gonna put the props on the outside of your right knee and just twist yourself so that you can drape yourself over your props. And your left buttock's probably gonna come way up off the ground. It does for me. I'm really just on the outside of my right buttock and draped over the props. And this feels good. If it doesn't feel good, move around, figure out a way to make it feel good. And if that's still not working, just sit up or lie on your back and do the Jin Shin Jitsu. And the Jin Shin Jitsu is both hands, or each hand on its respective side of the head, just touching above the eyebrows. So you can maybe hold your head in your hands or drape your head down on a prop with your hands underneath your forehead. Whatever makes this a comfortable pose for you. And we're now jumper cabling. Safety lock number 20. And 20, the meaning is eternity and perpetual consciousness. And the mantra is, I remember my wisdom, mental peace fulfills me. You could be flat on your front doing this too if you want. So jumper cabling this lock opens perception, gives you access to ancient wisdom. And for those of you who are familiar with the concept or give credibility to the concept of the third eye, the connection to the spiritual, it empowers the third eye. It helps us follow our inner wisdom, access our inner wisdom. It helps with learning. Again, it empowers or it harmonizes aspects of the head, headache, dizziness, strengthens memory, strengthens the eyes. And it promotes awareness and intuition, clarity of thought, common sense, logic. We have 30 seconds more here. Okay, let go of those holds. Come back out. And we're going to do the last of the 3 river flows, as I think of them. So this one is the Mediator Flows. These are all the little tributaries that go into all our organs and our toes and our fingers and go everywhere in the body. And I like to do this on my back, but I'll show you what you're going to do, and then you can decide where you want to be doing it. So your hands are both on the same side of the body that you're using. So let's say we're doing the left side of the body. Your right hand would be over on the left, just draped over the shoulder. And your left hand is in a mudra, which is a hand pose. And the top of your thumb, the pad of your thumb is on the nail of your ring finger. See the mudra? The other aspect of this is your knees need to be together. So you can do this sitting in a chair with your feet on the floor and your knees together. You can do this sitting on a prop with your feet on the floor and your knees together. But I really love to do this lying on my back with my feet on the outside edges of the mat, my knees bent, my knees flopped in, holding each other up. My right hand over my left shoulder, right out at the end of the shoulder bone, and my left hand just lying on the floor in that mudra. And set up the breath. So everybody who's ever taken a Yin class from me has heard this. But in Yin, this is called Relaxation Pose or Constructive Resting Pose. And this is one of the few positions that enables you to let go of all the stress that accumulates in the belly. And whenever you're shocked or excited or surprised, the adrenaline rush congeals in the belly, and it happens automatically, but there's no automatic release. So this is actually the only yoga pose, at least I know of, that releases all that adrenaline, all that stress, all that tightness in the belly. I often do this in bed at night when I can't sleep, or in the morning when I wake up, I just lie there for a minute or two, my knees bent, touching each other. And switch sides. Take your left hand over your right shoulder, and your right hand, the pad of the thumb on the nail of the ring finger. Mediator flows are linked to our feelings, our emotions. The theory is that energy and emotion want flow, and doing the mediator flow conducts the energy into all the areas of our body. They're good for harmonizing attitudes and emotions. They create motion. They balance energy on the right and the left. They help with letting go. And they're good for pain in the shoulders, arms, fingers, and help with chronic diseases. You have 1 more minute here. So let go of that and get yourself in a position where you can see me. And I'm going to show you the next pose we're going to do, which most of you know. It's child's pose either on your front or on your back. So for child's pose on your front, we have options, as always. I like to start it just by sitting on my heels, and then I like to move my torso forward and round it as I come forward, maybe propping my head on something, maybe just bringing my head to the ground. And your arms are going to be either extended in front of you or back over your head, because what you're going to be doing is you're going to be holding a thumb. If you're on your back, you can do this, bringing your knees into your chest. It's just a reverse child's pose, and hold a thumb. Halfway through the pose, I'm going to tell you to switch thumbs. So get yourself into whichever child's pose you want. Hold whichever thumb you want. We're going to hold this for 2 minutes on each side. And I'll let you know when we're halfway through. So part of the Jin Shin Jitsu theory is that the fingers are a shortcut to the safety energy locks. And each finger is associated not only with several of the safety energy locks, but with the depths of the body, starting from the skin as the outside of the body, the most external depth, going through the tissue, the organs, the fluids, down to the deepest depth of the body is the bones. The thumb, each day, each class, I'm going to take you through one of these fingers, starting today with the thumb, which is the skin, which is the most exterior depth of the body. And each finger has associations with lots of things, with colors, with time of life, with a season. You know, it's very much like chakras in the aspect of just having, you know, minerals, lots of stuff, colors. And I'm not going to tell you all that. I'm just going to tell you a few kind of interesting aspects of each of them. So holding the thumb, or the thumb, represents grounding, developing a healthy self-esteem. It's linked to physical growth. It transforms nutritional energy into body energy. Switch thumbs now. It's good for worry, fear, when thoughts and feelings are running in circles. It's good for developing self-confidence, defining oneself. Holding the thumb is good for digestive problems, eating disorders, stomach, spleen, and pancreas, skin disorders. Just maybe feeling disconnected, feeling burned out, feeling not engaged. Sometimes when I have trouble sleeping and I'm lying awake at night and thoughts are just circling through my head, I just hold my thumbs. Or sometimes I go through all the fingers. Optimal time to hold each would be 2 to 5 minutes. So we're going to move into Shavasana now. You can do your Shavasana in whatever position you want. You can just lie flat on your back and let everything sprawl. You can go back into relaxation pose. You can put your legs up the wall. It's going to be kind of a short Shavasana because we had a lot to cover. But just get in the most conceivable, comfortable position you could possibly manage. Give yourself a blanket or some props or an eye pillow, whatever makes you just perfectly ecstatic. And then see if you can just let go of any conscious form of breathing, any counting. Let go of your body. Let go of your jaw and your shoulders and your feet and your belly. Let go of your brain. Feel heavy, as though you're just sinking into the earth. Your body spreading, relaxing. Slowly come back into your brain, into your body. Maybe move some fingers, toes, ankles, wrists. We're going to all meet back up and sitting, come up however you want, but come up softly. Don't jolt your body, don't disturb the serenity. And go ahead and unmute yourself now. When you've arrived in sitting, let's all bring our hands to our hearts in prayer. Thank you for joining me in this class. I love this class and I love that you're here.